Okay, guys, so this video is to explain inertia a little bit more. But first, let's just recap what a force is, and hopefully this little mini lesson will help you answer the first two questions from before. So force is just a push or a pull that changes the motion of an object. Now, we have forces that are acting on objects, even the objects that are not moving. So if anything, what's happening? Well, those forces are balancing each other out. So when we have balanced forces acting on the object is either not moving, so meaning we just have a box. I apply 50 newtons, somebody else apply 50 newtons to this box that is not moving. If we're applying equal force, we're not going to make that object move. Okay? Or if the forces are balanced, the object has a constant velocity. So this means the object can also be moving, but is moving with the same speed at each second or the same speed at each minute. So that means we apply some force to make the object move. When we take that applied force away, the object is going to just keep moving at the same speed. And that's only if we don't have friction applying. You will see that later on in the lesson. Newton's three laws is from Isaac Newton, and he just watched apples fall to come up with universal gravitation. We will look into more of Newton's second and third law on later days. So Newton's first law, an object in motion wants to stay in motion. If the object is resting, it wants to stay at rest, unless we have an unbalanced force. And that unbalanced force is what's going to change the motion, okay? Newton's first law is also called the law of inertia. So object that wants to stay in motion will stay in motion. If the object is not moving, it wants to stay not moving. That's the law of inertia. So what is the definition of inertia? Just to go back over it, it is the object's resistance to change their motion. If I'm moving, I want to stay moving. If I'm not moving, I want to stay not moving, okay? Another way you can say it is just whatever your original motion is, that is your desired motion, okay? So if we look at this GIF at the bottom, you see that the giraffe neck moves once the car hits the wall. Well, what does that mean? That means that when we're in the car, we're not moving in the car. The car is moving, okay? And this is the reason why it's important to wear seat belts, because our bodies wants to remain at rest when the car is moving. So if we have to stop or we brake, or when the person takes off, you see how our body jerks back and forward? That's because we wanted to remain in that rest position. The seatbelt helps our inertia. It supports our inertia for us not to move when we have to have that unbalanced force act on the car. Also, you will have questions after this, but it will talk about ordering your objects from biggest inertia to smallest inertia. And in order for you to understand if an object has a big amount of inertia, you have to look at the mass. So if we look at an elephant and a mouse, and you want to apply the force to make that elephant or mouse move, who do you have to apply more force to? The elephant. So since the elephant is bigger, it's going to have the bigger inertia. The mouse is little, it's going to have the smallest amount of inertia. We can easily make that mouse move and apply that unbalanced force. So this is it for inertia. You have two questions to answer, and then you will have another video on Newton's first law to look at as well.